Yo, we live. You're now listening to Volume 172 of the Bucketup Podcast. Here with your boy Ty Doyle, a.k.a. DJ Buttersauce, a.k.a. Ty Lante, a.k.a. your mom called me over to explain the Olympics to her. And I'm here as always with the homie, the kid JB. Was good.
Yes, that's me, the kid JB. Could have been right last week, a.k.a. Mr. Told You So. Not because I'm always right, but when I'm right, I tend to tell you so. And I've had some occurrences that made me, rendered correct. So that keeps my title correct as well. But with that, I'm also Puff Armstrong because we out here lifting legally, medically, herbally, and physically. You know what I'm saying? We out here post foot surgery. You know what I'm saying? Jumping to conclusions surgically. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, most importantly, medically and systemically, I'm here with my man, the outlet of the universe, the Bucketup Podcast, my man, DJ Butter. How you doing, son?
I am good, bro. Like I said, I had a good week. I had an okay weekend, good weekend for the most part. I know we're gonna do like a real quick pod today. So I'm gonna just bust into some of the stuff. My week was fine. Weekend, Saturday, we had a plan with, Trav and Aubrey and Kingston and the kids and stuff to finally try these baby pancakes that I keep seeing on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen these things.
Are they pancakes that babies make?
No, they're just like super small pancakes, and they like put all the like sauces and all the caramels and stuff on them. And it's like, it looked like a food truck on Instagram at least. And we've been seeing them. We've been throwing around in our like couples group chat thing, which is, Aubrey and Trav and me and Katie. And we're like, yo, we're going to go to this. And then so we finally, it was like, all right, let's go. I messaged the people on Instagram like, yo, where they going to be at? Because to me, it looked like they're a food truck or whatever. Like, we like, yo, what's y'all location? I couldn't tell if they're a food truck or they had a spot or something. And maybe they just, here in Phoenix, for the people that are from around here, like, sometimes these restaurants are like just food trucks that like be in a parking lot of places. And then sometimes they're just like random, like canopy type, like hut shit, just like right in front of a fucking like liquor store or some shit. You know what I mean?
Which I always get upset because I'm like, you guys are a truck. You can come to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like why are you in one location all the time? But so I'm like, I messaged them. They're like, all right, yeah, we're at 6161 McDowell on their like Instagram page. It said they were open 8 to 10, so we're like, all right, let's
making
go.
Their address hot as shit. Yo, that's the spot, by the way. 616.
This is see the story's gonna go, but yeah. So okay. I'm like, all right, cool. We're gonna go. We decide when we're gonna wake up and shit. Go down there at like 9:30. We get there and like we pull in and it's an apartment building and we're like, what? Like, yo, they trapping out the house, bro. What's going on? And so I messaged them and they just did not message us back. I'm like, bro, are they not trying to get sales? What is happening? And so we were like, what the fuck is going on? Like, is this not even a place? We ended up like just saying fuck it and we got breakfast from somewhere else. But like, I was so mad because I was like, bro, we amped up to get this shit. And they literally messaged me back like 5 hours later and told me they were at a different address. And I'm like, bro, what? What? And I'm like, are y'all a food truck? Are y'all moving locations? And she was like, no, it's a house. And I'm like, what? Did y'all move? House. Did y'all move since I Instagrammed y'all like a week or two ago? Like, I'm confused, bro. And so I don't understand. And she was like, yeah, you got to put in your order first too. And I'm like, well, y'all don't even respond to people. So like when I'm supposed to put in my order. But yeah, so I was mad. We didn't even get that. And then we had this plan to get rib tips from this barbecue spot for lunch. But we had such a big breakfast that everybody was kind of like, you know what I mean, after. And so like we were like at round 3 because this rib place always runs out super early. We were like, oh, let's try to order now to beat the rush. And of course they're closed at 3 because they're already sold out. And I'm like, bro, we didn't get any of the food we were supposed to get all freaking week, bro. It's terrible.
Striking out, bro.
For real.
I'm dying at the idea of like you guys at the apartment complex or the house and just standing around looking stupid and people are like, what are you guys doing?
Like, yeah.
Oh, we're here for baby pancakes. They're like, weed's legal. You don't have to do code words no, Mark.
That probably would be like, yo, they trying to trap. They probably know. They probably retired the people trapping out their house with damn pancakes. They probably
baby
like
pancakes, bro. I bet later. Like,
yeah, it did work out though because we ended up getting Jamaican food from this spot called Ocho Rio. Shout out to them. The food was fire. We actually went again today, and I got just to get some beef patties, and they crazy, and it was like a club. They was bugging COVID wise, but the food was fire. But yeah, that was my
usually
weekend.
Let that slide. All right, well that's cool, man. That's funny, man. Yeah, food wise, I've heard of that dynamic before. Shouts to Soul Food, Detroit Soul Food Sisters on the go or to go or something.
They make all this shit and then they sell out.
Well, not only that, but they recently got an actual location. But before that, they were trapping out the apartment. And when we went, it was just an apartment complex. And they were just like, yeah, come get it, And then like some kid like gave me my order with like he was like 8 years old, had no shirt on and shit. And I was like,
I bet that shit hit though. I'm gonna be real though. I bet
it was so
fire.
good, bro. You kidding me? I was licking the plate and shit. I was like, bro,
nah,
because 8-year-old can cook.
Because like, think about it, bro. The confidence you gotta have in your food to have niggas show up to your actual address to get that shit. And because it's like, if it's garbage, they know where you live, bro, and they gonna flame your ass. Like, you gotta, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that's had to be fire. So.
Right, they out here, yeah. Like when you make confident moves with your chest, they send in the 8-year-olds with their chest to make moves.
They don't give a damn about service, none of that. It's like, just give them their food, they'll be all right.
Bro, I think he was holding my utensils just like without the foil, just to take this shit, bro.
He gave you an actual fork, like a metal one. He's like, yo, you gotta bring that back. And he was like, you know what? Nah, you can keep it.
You know what I'm saying? Which one's that? Oh, like the soccer, like old, like pep rally one. We good.
Yeah, you can keep that one.
That's cool though. I mean, I'm all about the hustle, I'm about the grind. I don't know about the logistics of running a business out your apartment. I'm sure they got rules against that.
Strictly through Instagram, and you're not even on the communications of it. It's wild.
So I'll talk about providing a business out my parking lot, you know what I'm saying? Because I have my car rented on Turo or listed on Turo, so people come through, pick up my car and dip. Talk about going above and beyond though. A little Bucketup blooper for the week. I'm a really good host on Turo, you know what I'm saying? Got like an A-star rating. You know what I'm saying? If your rating messes up, they take your car off, it's bad, you got to go through Turo jail, all that. So I just got out of Turo jail from not responding to enough rides in time, bro, or whatever it was. So I was like been, extra,
responding, extra,
extra above and beyond, right? Customer service. So take them to the end of the week. This is like Thursday or Friday. I get a message from one of my customers, and mind you, you always get a message from the customer like, "Hey, I'm Chad. I'm excited for the trip. Thanks." Bleh. It's usually something like that. Recently, people have been hitting me up, being like, "Yo, can you bring the car to me?" And I'm like, "No, like you come get it from me, right?" Because when I'm about to be ass out, no car. Like after I drop it off with you, like nah. You that's like at a hotel. Yo, can you bring the hotel to me? No, you come get this shit.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So knowing that, I've been declining. Nah, sorry. Let me know when you can come through though, blah, blah, right? But then I proactively looked at this account and it said pickup time, 12:30 a.m. And I'm like, smacked. So I'm looking at the shit. I'm like, a.m. That means midnight, right? So I'm like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way that's a glitch. That has to be p.m. I'm not staying up till midnight. So I'm like, nah. So I message with people, and I'm like, hey, quick question. The app says a.m., 12:30 a.m. You guys are coming Friday, like in the afternoon, right? And they're like, no, our flight gets in at midnight on Thursday, so technically Friday. So we'll be there at like Friday, 12 a.m. or whatever. And I was like, all right. And they're like, is that okay? And knowing I was like just out of Turo jail, I didn't want to say no. I was like, yeah, it's cool. I just want to make sure I'll drink coffee and stay awake. And they're like, oh my God, thank you. Like, you're the best. And I'm like, all right, great. So I'm like, so then I turned to Joelle. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to stay up tonight. She's like, for what? I was like, my customers are coming at like midnight. So I got to just stay awake for that, you know? And we've all been there, right? You've picked a homie up from the airport. You got to like stay up or whatever.
Get up early or like, you know what I mean?
Or just set an alarm and know like, all right, I got to watch some TV shows because dude's coming at 1 a.m. or whatever, you know?
Right.
Luckily, it was half of that because I wasn't picking them up. I was just giving them the keys, right? So I'm chilling. I made a coffee. You know, it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I was like, all right, I'll make a coffee, stay awake. Watching some TV shows. I got ahead on my video game. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to NHL 2K21.
Yeah. The show.
And yeah, that's right. And so then, you know, I'm chilling, whatever. I'm kind of dozing off, and I'm like, but you know what? I could fall asleep, but just set an alarm at 12:30, and I'll be Gucci. So, you know, I'm dozing off, back up, dozing off, back up. I'm like, nah, actually, I'll stay awake. So I'm good. I'm good money. I'm staying awake till 12-ish. It's 12:30. Still don't hear from them. I'm like, all right, their plane's probably landing at, you know, 12:30 or whatever. It's like 1-ish. I still didn't hear nothing. Joelle's coming out to check on me. She's like, yo, you still doing this? I was like, yeah, you know, I'm a good customer service. I got to stay up for this. And she's like, but they're still not here. I was like, nah, but you know how planes be. It's probably late. You know, they can't text me right now. It's whatever. And I'm just giving them all the benefit of the doubt. And I'm just chilling. And then it's like 1:30, 2 a.m. And Joelle's like, all right, nah, like cut it off. Just come to bed. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I messaged them. Mind you, now my glasses are off. I'm like I'm fachaded. And I'm just like, yo, hey, I'm going to bed. I got to be up for work at 6 a.m. You guys can come get the car tomorrow. Like, nothing personal. Sorry, I waited, you know? And then I fucking go to sleep, and I wake up, and no responses, and still no messages from them. And I'm like,
what the hell?
So like, I was like, they cancel or something? Or like, I don't know, what the hell? So then I'm getting situated with work. I got my glasses, you know, everything's getting ready. And I'm just like, let me check the app. I check the app, Ty. Their reservation is not till next Friday at 12:30.
Oh, wow. Wow. Did they say anything back?
So, mind you, they're confused as fuck because I'm texting them at 1 a.m. talking about, can you come get this?
Well, yeah,
can you come get
bro,
this car?
I waited up. Damn, bro. Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, it's next Friday. And then she's like, so it got all quiet.
Still cool?
Like, yeah, is it still cool? I was like, I guess that was batting practice, G. Fuck, man.
Yeah, as long as y'all come exactly at 12:30 and don't, you know, now they know. Now you primed them. They're like, all right, this dude, he doing us a favor, but like, we gotta get you right at 12:30 because he not gonna last that long.
Yeah, I'm so and like emotional JB. I've been working on my shit, so like I can say with confidence, old JB maybe 5 years ago, I would have woke up and been like, "Yo, why are you wasting my time? What's up with this?"
You would have spazzed on them, and then they would have been back in jail, bro.
back in jail, and then, like with no reason. All I had to do was read the date, but I was just like,
it was completely your fault.
It was my fault, but what prompted it was them messaging me, being like. I checking the app, being like, "Yo, is it cool?" And anyway, so yeah, I went above and beyond, bro, for some shit that
didn't have to.
But
what's the lesson you learn, kids? Never try hard.
You know, set 2 alarms. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. That's funny though.
So, it was
Thursday and the Friday too, because it's like you had to work still. Like every one thing, it was a Friday night. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can stay up later and not go to, you know, just wake up later.
I've had a customer drop off that time. You know what I'm saying? Like drop off at midnight and then them dip out. But I just was like, yeah, I'll stay awake for y'all, whatever.
It sucks you ain't because you're in an apartment. If you had a house, you could have like a lockbox or something. You know what I mean? They can just come punch in the codes for a lockbox, dip out. You know?
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Some customer just left my shit in the glove box one time, and I was like, all right, man, we're not doing that.
Yeah, all right. At least if it was a drop box, you know, that makes sense. Like, we got one from Rent-A-Car, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and they had a drop box. So
yeah,
I don't even know how that. Yeah, we just dropped it off. I'm like, how do they know that we dropped it off when we dropped it off? I don't care if they charge, you're gonna yell.
I worked at I told you I worked at Enterprise for like, a month before I quit that shit. They had the drop off policy made no sense. They're like, yeah, there's a drop off box. Customers don't even have to put. This is what made no sense. They're like, customers don't even have to put the keys in the drop off box as long as it's near. I was like, near? What does that mean? What's the point of the drop off box then?
I'm sorry. What do you mean? Where did they put it? I'm confused.
Just throw the shit like it's a newspaper.
They just throw it at the door and like hop out of the car and have the car just like roaming around the parking lot and everything's Gucci. I don't understand. What?
Well, the reason why, because I saw someone do that shit. They drove by and threw it just at the box like it was like a newspaper at the stoop. And I looked at my coworker and he looked at me like, "Yep, that's normal." And I was like, "Why can't they can't take the 4 seconds to be like, here's the keys?"
Like what the fuck? Okay.
So I had to get out of that, bro. When shit doesn't make sense, but it's a norm for people, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel you. I got homies that work there. I think they enjoy it. I never asked. I probably should. I should be a better friend. But yeah, like I said, we gotta do a quick pod. So we're gonna move on to our reviews and then songs of the week and then get up on out of here. So you watch anything this week, bro?
Yeah. So real quick, it was a really good documentary. I don't know the title fully, but it was like Peace, Love. It's a Woodstock documentary, Peace, Love, and Chaos or something. But not like, your traditional documentary, like, oh, meta, like, oh, this was what Woodstock was, blah. It was really cool because this documentary was talking about how they wrongfully depicted Woodstock as this like romantic, beautiful, like. So
I didn't
they
see
made
the documentary, but I saw about
the attraction for it. So yes,
yeah.
Mainly what it was is like, Woodstock 99 tried to pay homage to the Woodstock 69, which then, our parents would tell you was more of like, or, people before us would tell you that was like the hippie smoking weed, druggy acid, people wearing togas and like, camping out. And it was like a peaceful event.
Burning bras and like,
like
smoking a bunch of weed, a bunch of bunk weed because they didn't have no strains back then.
Yeah, some straight. They call this shit like tree branch because it's from a tree branch or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, yo, this shit look like oregano. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is nutmeg, actual nutmeg. Nah, so the documentary was really cool because I remember in '99 watching Woodstock, and I remember just like old heads, my parents being like, that's not the real Woodstock though. You kids wouldn't understand, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're right. Like, I don't care. But this documentary brought back that idea of like how they tried to pay homage to all of what was in the 60s, but the 60s and 90s were completely different times, right?
Right.
So trying to feed a culture or feed respect to a culture that no longer existed, right? So being like, oh, let's all respect and love each other. But unfortunately at the 90s, that was the peak of, homosexual or homophobia, rape culture, grunge, suicide, like, Nirvana, all these like metalhead bands and stuff, like kind of setting the path for like what was unfortunately like that white angry mob, fan base culture, like, the Eminem fans or like the Insane Clown Posse, like, and that was the majority of the audience of 99 Woodstock. So when you originally had people going to see the Doors and the Beatles and or whatever bands, the Parsons, Eric Clapton, like all those guys, these fans are now going to see Slipknot and Korn and Rage Against the Machine and Megadeth and Limp Bizkit. And they were talking about just like rolling. Bro, but they killed it. They had like 50,000 people at this concert.
That's insane, bro.
And Fred Durst, came out and was responsible for like this biggest destruction. But similar to like rape culture and, mass shooting culture now, what they do, they blamed the victims. And they were like, oh, nah, like the girl, like, so girls were getting raped in the crowd, right? And they were blaming the girls. They were blaming girls for wearing that, not wearing clothes, even though the artists were yelling, "Get naked." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Fred Durst was encouraging people to break, monuments of the stage and telling people to break things and destruct, right? And there was this battle between the artist and the venue.
Mhm.
And then it talked about how and then, bro, this was the grossest part. And I was like, this is why I went to a festival, a year and a half ago, like a weed
gross,
festival.
To be honestly,
they're horrible, bro. The concept of one is disgusting.
I want to see the artist, but I don't care for being at with everybody just on top of each other, just like sweating on top of each other. Water.
You can't shower for 3 days, like nah.
I saw like the pictures of Lollapalooza because that's going on right now. And it's obviously not a great time with, Delta variant putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. Like, it looked disgusting, bro. Oof. But yeah,
I said Delta variants like when Michael Jordan came back from baseball and was like, I saw these jokes y'all talking about.
Bro. Back with
about the 3-peat.
You know
what I'm saying? So anyway, then the grossest thing, dude, people were in the impatient. So this is the unique also was as an adult watching this was listening to the attendees now 30 years later or 20 years later talk about the event. And a lot of them, the audience were like, the prices of water was $4 a water and beer was $3. So like kids never drank water because their logic was, I'm just going to get a beer for $3, right?
That's idiotic, but yes, I get that.
Right.
Why would they even? But why was that even the case? Why is it $4? That don't make no sense.
But that's the whole problem. They said it was a money grab for kids that don't have money, type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And my argument, I was like, yeah, but I've never, as a broke boy, I'm never sympathetic to people that show up places with empty pockets and then talk about it's other people's problem. Like if you go to a festival with no money,
yes and no, yeah, you still should drink water. Like it's like yes, you could be like, oh man, it's cheaper for beer. That's weird, but I still literally need to at least throw in some water every now and then. Like
they should have provided water. That's the point.
For sure.
There should have been,
for sure.
There should have been misters or something you could drink water from. So there was that issue. Then the showers came, bro. People were getting impatient because either people were wasting, taking too much time, or girls didn't feel comfortable, so they would go in groups, right?
Yeah.
And people, of course, because people are the worst, they got impatient, and this one kid starts breaking. And you see actual footage. This kid starts breaking a pipe, thinking that the water will just come out this way, right? And I could take a shower quicker. Breaks the pipe, and what happens, Ty? The whole sewage of the whole setup breaks, and shit and piss start coming through people's tents and sleeping grounds. And then for the next day and a half, kids thinking that this was mud and being like, "Oh, cool," and swimming in it. It was shit and piss, bro.
Jesus.
So not only that, this is what they were talking about was like this happened during the day, and then Limp Bizkit and all these bands come on at night and talk about, dig deep and pull out all the negative energy you got. And these kids are swimming and sleeping in shit and piss, not drinking water. Pissed. They're like, yo, I'm about to break something, literally. And so it was insane, dude. And so good documentary. Then they talked about how just like whoever was the producer or the promoter of the show just didn't have like the vision, because like after they had these metal bands like punk, what's that called, like Kid Rock and Fred Durst and all that stuff, instead of just being like, all right, go to sleep, recharge, they kept the music going, but they had like raves, so they had techno in the middle of the night, and they were saying how like the same audience that was there for Slipknot and Korn and Fred Durst and stuff are not going to be there and crack glow sticks and start doing like rave dancing, So it was just a horrible mix of trying too hard, and even the artist, after they saw the crowd and like was just like nah. So a lot of the artists left that night because they're just like nah, like. This crowd is out of hand, and this is a bad look on us. So, long story short, good documentary, and it definitely reminded me of times, because I remember my brother ordering the pay-per-view for that Woodstock, and
really?
He enjoyed it the first couple of nights, and then the last night, because he was a big Rage Against the Machine fan, and there was I think DMX performed that Woodstock. And he was like, he even said, like, I remember back then being like, it got like really like destructive,
Weird.
and like people like fighting and like it's just not. It wasn't a vibe, people breaking things and stuff. So like, yeah, I just remember that, and then watching that documentary, it just brought back all that, and just all the toxic masculinity about like. They had all these male performers, and they had what seemed like a good amount of female performers, but they just spread them out throughout the 3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
So they had like Jewel, Alanis Morissette, and like Sheryl Crow. Which, mind you, if you're watching Limp Bizkit, you're really gonna rock out to like Sheryl Crow or Jewel.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, if you
you know what I'm saying?
If you rocking Limp Bizkit, your taste's not that great at this point.
But you're the prime demographic for that audience. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, Jesus, man. You people, I'm on your ass if you was for real on that Limp Bizkit wave, bro. That shit was insane. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I watched that, but I didn't. Yeah, I remember vaguely remember that stuff, but I never really, I didn't really care about white people stuff at the time. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of is what it is. But that's
I mean, you definitely look in the crowd. There's definitely a type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm sure. The Slipknot, Limp Bizkit. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
it does tackle. It does tackle though, like some of the political stuff like that. I think we bang with about how like. Uncovering instead of blaming the artist and the music, they're just like, yeah, why are these white kids like so angry though? Like that's kind of what it was.
I guess that's true, but sometimes that gets into the like right after Trump won, they were just interviewing everybody who like voted for Trump, and it's like, all right, bro, we get it. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you gotta just be like, some of these people suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I saw a bunch of shit that we didn't even. Saw a couple movies last week that we had a guest on, so we didn't do any reviews. I'm going to go over them real quick and then just jump into one thing that I watched that was funny. Last week I watched A Quiet Place 2. Great movie. If you saw A Quiet Place 1, you definitely would fuck with it, I would say. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's definitely the same vibe. Shouts to John Krasinski. Shouts to Emily Blunt. I would give it like a 4.5 out of 5 bucket hats for sure. So yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, because it came out in theaters in like April, and you're like, yeah, dog, I wasn't vaccinated up or nothing. I think I watched it on Paramount Plus. If you have Paramount Plus, you get it for free. Just a little, if you haven't seen the ads for it. But I only got Paramount Plus because it's like $1 in it. Through Amazon Prime.
Isn't that CBS? CBS?
Yeah, it's like CBS's thing.
Yeah.
Like the overview. It got like Nickelodeon and the new Rugrats is on there, the new iCarly, did I watch something else on there? I think it's not that much. You gotta like CBS shit, which I don't. But again, it was $1, so that's why I got it. But yeah, I would say check that out. The other one I watched was Nobody. The shit with Bob Odenkirk. Also, shouts to Bob Odenkirk because he had a health scare this week. He collapsed on filming Better Call Saul, and then we found out he was good. And I'm like, yo, thank God, because he seems like a cool person, obviously. And Better Call Saul is one of the better shows on TV right now. So, obviously, hopefully everything's good there and he's able to make a safe recovery. But the movie Nobody was fire. I saw in the previews, it was like him like fighting people and shit, but I didn't know how much it was going to be like John Wick. Cause it's definitely a John Wick-esque type fucking movie that you don't really expect, but it's literally produced by somebody who did John Wick. So it makes sense. But it's fire shit. So I would say definitely, if you fuck with John Wick or action movies like that at all, I would say watch that shit. It's for rent right now.
Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes looks dope.
I don't know about the G.I. Joe thing because like I don't think any G.I. Joe movie has been successful. So it's kind of funny to me. It's part of the G.I. Joe franchise because Snake Eyes was the dude, and I'm like, it's like none of the movies were successful, but y'all doing a third spinoff movie, okay? But yeah, I don't know. It might be good. Who knows? And the whole thing with Snake Eyes was that you didn't see his face, and then this movie is like you seeing his entire face the whole time. I don't really know. But yeah, I was definitely give Nobody a 4.5 out of 5 bucket hats. And then this week I saw Jungle Cruise with Emily Blunt again and The Rock. I fell asleep for a little bit of it, so I can't give it like a full. I was just tired, bro, from all the food we were eating. But it seemed like a decent movie. It was cool. Like I woke up, I fell asleep like a little bit in the middle, but then everything I woke up, I got the gist of the movie. It was good. The Rock was good in it. So was Emily Blunt. It definitely was. It had a lot of like Pirates of the Caribbean, like what's it called? It reminded me of two movies that's like already Disney, but it was mostly like a Pirates of the Caribbean type movie but just with The Rock. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's a lot of like tropes that are very familiar. yeah. But then there was some surprises in the movie, I would say. Only thing I will say is like The Rock really playing up his like racial ambiguity, because like in this one he plays like, I guess I would probably give it away, but what he plays in this movie is like not at all what he is in real life. So it's just kind of funny. But I don't want to spoil the movie.
His Samoan side or what?
Nah, I don't want to give away too much of the movie.
Okay.
But it's just funny. Like him and Vin Diesel just play whatever the hell. They just show up and they play whatever. It's like, I'm Italian today, cool. Am I black today, cool. Am I Hispanic, cool. Am I Samoan, cool. You know what I mean? Like they're like Scarlett Johansson, bro. They play whatever.
I'm like, yo, Vin, you're a black Jew.
I'm like, to play, bro.
I'm like, Vin, you're a black Jew, bro. That's cool enough. Just leave that.
There you go.
Just leave it alone, bro.
There you go. And then, but yeah, I would give that one like maybe like 3.8 out of 5 bucket hats. Pretty good movie. Solid, decent. And then the last thing that I watched on HBO Max is Fuckboy Island, bro. Have you seen this?
Is that a show or a movie?
It's a show, bro. It's a reality TV show on HBO Max. And
shouts to the homie Noah. He did like a spoof video on that, and he was saying like mind you, yes. I kind of backdoor my way into these trendy things through people's spin-off jokes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a good way to get a handle on things. And Noah was like cracking jokes saying if he was the Jewish cat on F-Boy Island. And he was like, and I'll throw it up on the socials, but he was saying like, hey, I'm Noah. I've had sex with 3 women and I was in love with all of them. Like, little shit like that. So yeah, anyway, continue.
Yeah, so that would track because it's like the premise of the show is like it's three girls. And, you know, they're looking for love and they have to pick through like 24 dudes, the 3 girls. But half of the dudes are like self-proclaimed fuckboys. And then the other half are like nice guys. But they don't tell you, they don't tell the audience, and then they don't tell the girls until the person gets eliminated. And so like they have to figure out who's what. And like, mind you, it's like there's so many like people who look douchey. So you're like, oh, that's definitely a fuckboy, or like, yeah, that dude's a nice guy. And sometimes you're like, I don't know, that dude might be a nice guy, but he sounds stupid, so get him out of here. You know what I mean? I'm not a big reality TV show, but I like the premise kind of got me. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm intrigued by this.
I wonder how would they profile me, dog? I'm sitting in the corner.
It's not a profile. You tell them. So it's like you tell them like I'm a fuckboy or you're a nice guy, and then that's what you have to stick to. And it's like you can win $100,000 if you're at the end or something like that. So like the fuckboys are obviously just there for money. And then like the nice guy is supposed to be there for like love or whatever the hell. I mean, obviously it's reality TV, so like all of it's probably fake. But like
I feel like the fuckboys are set up for success. I don't.
Yeah. They just got to keep doing what they always do, is like trick women.
Be yourself. I feel like that's what books say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, shouts to it. Kingston kind of put us on to it. Shouts to the homie Kingston. He said he had a homie that's on the show. So it's funny. He said he had insight into what was going on and some of the stuff. I guess like, because it was like filmed during COVID, like they stopped filming at one point, but then they had everybody up in the hotel and like I think they were in like either Fiji or Maui or some shit, and they were like they had to stay there for like a whole summer, like, and then like go back to shooting. And he was like they made them work out on their balcony because they had to stay in shape for the TV show. And I'm like, that's so crazy. But yeah, no, so like again, I'm not a big reality TV person. But like, if it's a unique concept, I'll watch it. Like Love Is Blind is one of the ones I watched, and like this one I thought was unique enough for me to fuck with. So I would say check it out on HBO Max if you got that shit. Nikki Glazer is the host of it, like a comedian. She's pretty fucking funny, and she'd be like roasting the dudes.
it all full circle. Shouts to Noah's brother Ari, who writes for Nikki Glaser.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. So yeah, that's what Noah would probably be the nice guy, and that's what him explaining that he had sex with 3 women and was in love with all of them. That's funny. But yeah, those are my reviews, bro. I don't.
Not a lot of Jewish fuckboys, I'll tell you that much.
You know, there's a fuckboy in every race, right?
Yeah, that's true. It depends. Well, if we just wouldn't announce it, we'd be like, "No, you a fuckier boy." I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. There's probably Orthodox fuckboys. You don't even know. They're probably chilling. You know?
No, yeah, you're right. I redact that. There's plenty in the Orthodox crew. Fuck it. Wild.
They always want them. But yeah, those are my reviews. We can get into, our favorite portion of the podcast. Songs of the week, bro. What you got this week?
I will say, I did learn something about movies real quick. Did you know the previews used to be called, or they're called trailers, because they used to be played at the end of a movie.
Who was sticking around to watch that though?
And that was the problem. Nobody. So they're like, yo, let's put this shit in the front. And call them previews.
Oh yeah, duh. I'm like, they still call them a trailer. It's weird.
Well, just to homage. So yeah, I thought that was cool. But yeah, music wise, man, you know what I'm saying. Obviously, you put me on the new shit. But when it comes to like music, food, television, any source of entertainment, I gotta let it come to me. You know what I'm saying? I can't just be like, oh, you said, let me go do it. But I will say, man, I'm sure you've mentioned him before, but Rod Wave.
I have. I'm not speaking of Kingston. Kingston's a big Rod Wave. I'm not, because I'm just not on the. It's just. I feel like there's been a wave of like, fat niggas singing about like the saddest shit in the world, and I'm just not.
Say, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about the size or their.
I know it doesn't matter their size, but it's just funny.
I've been like, hey, I like the singy shit. I like the singy songs. All right.
I think it's just funny, but every fat black dude who comes to the game, I'm like, oh, maybe he gonna rap like Biggie or something, and it's just like them. It's just where I wave dudes just singing like, I can't even go outside. And I'm like, oh,
bury me. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but hey, Biggie sang too. He even said he prefers R&B over rapping. So
there you go.
Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying?
I was making a joke. It's cool.
Yeah,
I'm just not. It's too sad for me sometimes. That's all.
And also, I rock with that. His resiliency. He had a speech impediment as a kid, or he still does. So like that's why the singing stuff's pretty impressive. And then he's from Florida, which not often we can pull out the diamonds in the rough out there. So shouts to him. But yeah, so he had a couple songs that I think were cool because the music videos are pretty cool. And, I said, good voice. So this week we're going with Street Runner by Rod Wave.
I bet. I usually do bangs, bops, and slaps, but I'm just going to, I listen to some things like there's a Nio, a song called Messy Love, and then Life Was Beautiful. That was good. So I guess those would be like kind of my shout outs. But the only thing that I listened to pretty much on repeat this weekend was the new Isaiah Rashad album, The House Is Burning. Isaiah Rashad is part of TDE. If anybody knows me or knows TDE, they know how TDE likes to only release like 2 albums a year, and it irks the shit out of me because Isaiah Rashad's last album came out in 2016. And it's like, do you know who Isaiah Rashad is, Jesse?
I know he has... He was on the soundtrack for Insecure. I know that.
Yeah, he probably was. But here's the thing. The thing that makes me mad is Isaiah Rashad had 1 album before. So you have 1 album. You probably shouldn't go 5 years before having another fucking album, because who the fuck are you, bro? So like I don't understand the marketing thing with TDE. Like obviously you can do that with Kendrick Lamar and Schoolboy Q. You can have them drop an album every 6 or 7 years like they plan on doing with everybody. And maybe even SZA, because SZA got so big off the 1 album that she can do that now. But like all they little younger, like little lesser known artists, like you can't be going dumb amount of time. But people forget, they move on. You know what I mean? So yeah, his last
I said
album was
I've
great.
stopped watching Family Guy. They haven't made an episode in years.
See, yeah. See, like Isaiah Rashad's last album, The Sun Siren, was very good, and so I'm like, I can't wait to see what's going on. You know what's gonna happen next, and then it's like 5 years later, and it's like, damn, bro. But like, this album is great. It's probably my favorite project from him. So I mean, I kind of just probably backs back on me being like, why the hell didn't you come out with something earlier? Because it's like maybe it took him this long to make this. I doubt it. I'm sure he recorded a lot of this shit in the last year or so. I'm sure maybe he did. I have no clue. I don't have any insight into that. But it's like, that shit is absurd to me. You should not be going 5 years as a new artist in between putting out a project.
Yes,
like, that's
especially
absurd.
when shit like timely shit. Like, what if he's rapping about? He's like, man, the Bucks never gonna win a Super Bowl again. It's like they did, like, bro.
Brady's washed up. He's done. Never gonna. It's like, what? You know what I mean? You got to take all that shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, I'm never weak to a pandemic. You never see me in a machine with a vaccine. It's like.
Yeah, dude. Like, So, and it's like, it just didn't make any sense. But the album is fire. I loved it. Some of my favorite songs off there. Headshots is probably my favorite one on there. But also From the Garden with Lil Uzi Vert, it bangs. So definitely check that shit out. Tib. You got like Thibodeau. I'm guessing that's what he named it after. Claymore featuring Smino is fire. He got a song on there with J-Rock called True Story, that's fire. He also got a song with SZA and Black that's good called Score. But yeah, no, I would say check that shit out if you haven't yet. For some reason, like, check out the whole album. The whole thing is good to me. But yeah, those are my songs of the week.
And he doesn't necessarily sing, but he says some sad shit, bro. Headshots is about death. Different ways to kill yourself. From either alcohol consumption or taking 2 shots to the head.
That's true.
I read it. Again, I'm weird with my fandom. I've actually followed a lot of his interviews. Haven't heard a lot of his songs, but I hear him break down his music a lot. So I thought that was funny. So yeah, and he said Headshots is about like different ways you could die, and whoever's ready, he got 2 shots, bullets in the gun, and then he's got 2 shots, drinks ready for whoever type shit. So I'm again. Ride wave, took me a while to get on that wave. Polo G, you know what I'm saying?
Next you're going to be on Mo, who's another big black dude, be singing. And I like...
I'm like, yo, have you heard of Ruben Studdard from American Idol? Yo, shit's fire.
Right.
That's the first one. And then, I think, movie reviews, previews real quick. I know they're coming up with a new Jackass. That I'm not too, keen on that, but just I think I've been watching that they're not letting one of the main characters, Bam Margera, back on the show.
He breached something. I think he kept doing drugs or something like that.
Yeah, now he's like beefing with them. He's like, yo, boycott the movie. So I'm here for the smoke. But
you gonna boycott it even though it's like they did it for his own good?
Oh no, I'll probably still. I don't know. We'll see. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I'm like, y'all way too old to be doing this shit, bro. Relax.
Yeah, you guys might die. I can't see an old man fall down some stairs and laugh.
It's not as funny to me anymore. I think it's because I'm older. I don't know. Who knows?
It's like more of a like cry for help. It's like, yo, go see a doctor, son. Like, but anyway, but yeah, you're right, but again, shouts to those that were engaging last week's episode. Again, shouts to Haley for Sunday Scaries. Provided great intel on what is the sponsor. They could use everyone can use promo code Bucketup to get 20% off. CBD helps me with my anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Laying low, chilling. And then shouts to Daniel Phillip because they be rocking with us too, and you can get a discount if you use promo code Bucketup. But beyond that, you know what I'm saying? We've been rocking, and shouts to Ty for putting up with me week in and week out. But we got plenty of socials, you know what I'm saying, for the medias, for the worlds. So for those that are new to the program that are like, yo, these guys are funny, and I didn't know which one was the black one or the Jewish one. Where can they follow us? Yeah, man.
Like we said at the top of the episode, you can follow us on any of the social medias, bro. We're on Facebook as just, the Bucketup Podcast. We're on Instagram as at the Buckethead Boys, and then we're on Twitter at Bucketup Podcast. And then you can follow us individually. The homie Jesse is at JB Speaks, and then I am at Tylante, aka I'm like what did I change it to now? It was Big Bone Thugs and Harmony. Now I think it's Pico de Negro. That's my name right now. Not bad. Yeah, so you can follow us on there, chop it up. If you got something to say about the show, you chop it with us on the socials. If you just want to interact with us, we got funny skits on Instagram that we put out. The homie Jesse does the bulk of the work, but then we link up sometimes and we do a little collab on that. And then, if I'm not sure if you're listening to us on right now, but just keep in mind that, if you listen to us on Spotify, you could probably get a little easier on SoundCloud, which is our main squeeze, that we are on Spotify. Make sure you follow us on there so you get the updates when we drop an episode. And then on Apple Podcasts, make sure you follow us or subscribe to the podcast so you get those episodes as soon as they drop. Also, if you're on there, be sure to leave us a 5-star review. You can say a little comment if you want. If you're feeling real nice and generous today, make sure you leave that for us. And then
put an emoji, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, that'd be real nice. And then also, we're on Stitcher Radio, we're on Google Play, and we're on YouTube if you want to see our faces, like Jesse said. Find out which one of us is black and which one is Jewish. I might be black Jewish. Who knows?
You know what I'm saying? I might be Jewish black. What's up?
There you go. But yeah, no, check us out on there. And then, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. For the Bucket Hat Boys, Volume 172, in the Bookingtons, in the lab, in the archives. But for the Bucket Hat Boys, we on to bigger, better things, and that's creating more content for the Buckets who love us and we love you. So, yeah, for the volume of 172, see ya. For the future, we'll be ya. Bucket Up Podcast, the Bucket Hat Boys, we out.
Cheer, cheer.